What's going on, everybody? We're back again with some more NFL game previews. Now this is week number 8, so we're about to hit that halfway point. I think we're gonna have 5 NFL games this week. In terms of games, doesn't look too bright, but we're gonna highlight a couple here. Starting off with the Redskins versus the Cowboys, a key NFC East battle here. Cowboys coming off a win last week against the Niners, and the Redskins losing on Monday night against the Eagles, which was a divisional game. So they actually got swept by the Eagles. They're 0-2 against the Eagles, so that's not going to look very good at the end of the year if you need to make the playoffs. Now, looking at this game here, Cowboys and Redskins, one of the best old-school rivalries in the NFL. However, the last couple of years, it hasn't really been one of the better NFC East rivalries. You can make the case that Cowboys-Giants, Eagles-Giants, Cowboys-Eagles. I just feel like the Redskins are the outlier here, and they don't really have a rivalry with anybody. I think they're just divisional foe now. If we're talking about the 80s, the 70s, and the 90s, the Redskins would definitely be one of the most hated teams in the NFC East. But yeah, looking at this matchup here, this is a key game. Both teams are sitting at 3-3. The Eagles look like they're going to run away with the East at 6-1, or 5-1, I believe. They look like they're going to run away with this division. The Eagles did, however, lose a couple of key starters last night in the game. Looks like for the season, so that could hurt them later. But for now, they look like one of the best teams in the NFC. They definitely look like the best team in the NFC East, so watch out for that. We might talk about them this week. But this matchup here, the Cowboys won 40-10 against the Niners. They displayed their running game to the tune of 250 rush yards. I think they had 3 or 4 rushing touchdowns. And the Redskins last night did not look very good in terms of their third down conversions. I think they only completed a couple third down conversions. Their defense got torched up by Carson Wentz. Although they were without Josh Norman, they still got torched up. I've been saying the last couple of years to myself and to a couple of my friends that the Redskins secondary is very average. And then if you take Josh Norman out, it becomes below average. At least he'll take away the number 1 receiver, but those other guys have a chance to make plays. We saw that last night with Aguilar. Zach Ertz was destroying DJ Swearinger. So, something that the Redskins do, though, is get pressure. This Cowboys offensive line was very good last week. I think they only allowed 1 sack. They tore up the Niners' front 7. So, look for the Cowboys to continuously establish that run game. With Ezekiel Elliott being able to play, his hearing was pushed back to his hearing stands as the NFL tried to expedite his hearing. So the hearing will still be on the 30th. He'll get to play this weekend. After that, who knows? So some key matchups here is going to be the Dallas offensive line and running backs versus the Redskins front 7. The Cowboys, if the Cowboys want to do one thing, and that's run the ball, control the clock, control the game, they want to beat you to death with that run game. That's something they're going to try to continue to do this weekend. This game is at 1 o'clock, so this is going to be one of the primetime games in the afternoon, or 1 o'clock Pacific time. I'm in the Pacific time zone. So the Cowboys are going to try to do something that they did last week, which is control the clock, control the trenches. But to do that, you have to be able to block. Lyle Collins has a tough matchup with P. Ryan Kerrigan. Terrell McClain is very good, underrated in that 3-4. Junior Galette's working his way back, and Preston Smith is some guys that we have to look out for as they like to get up the field and make pass rushing moves. In the middle of that defense, though, I think there can be holes to be found, so look for that. Matchup number 2 is going to be the Dallas secondary versus the Washington receivers. Last year, I know this is a whole different Washington team. Last year, the Redskins tore up the Cowboys in the passing game. I think Kirk Cousins probably had over like 900 yards or 1,000 yards in 2 games. It was crazy. But yeah, Josh Doctson and Terrell Pryor, Jordan Reed, Vernon Davis, those are guys that we all have to watch for. Jamison Crowder. I would expect Orlando Scandrick to line up on Crowder. I expect Jordan Lewis to line up on Doctson. And I expect Anthony Brown to line up on Terrell Pryor. In terms of who they'll have guard Jordan Reed, obviously I think Byron Jones will be on Jordan Reed, combination of Xavier Woods. Those are guys that we're going to have to look at here because Kirk Cousins can sling it. He does turn the ball over, but this Dallas secondary hasn't really prided itself on turnovers yet, as they are a little young still. But this is a game where you can force some turnovers against Kirk Cousins. That front 4 has been getting pressure. DeMarcus Lawrence, David Irving, Tyrone Crawford. But this is a different type of offensive line. It's one of the better offensive lines in the league with Trent Williams, Brandon Sheriff, Morgan Moses, Sean Laval, something like that. But those guys, this is a great offensive line, and they're battling up with an up-and-coming pass rush. Look for that. The Redskins don't really run the ball well, so look for these defensive ends to pin the ears back and get after the quarterback here. And our final matchup here is going to be Dez Bryant versus Josh Norman. Obviously, this assumes that Josh Norman plays. So, if Josh Norman plays, look for Dez Bryant versus Josh Norman. Last year, I think Dez had about 12 catches in 2 games. I know he had a touchdown, I believe, in one of those 2 games. So look for that. Those two got a little testy last year on Thanksgiving. I would expect them to stay being testy. It's just a mutual respect testy, though. So look for that. Dez and Josh go back. Josh does like to run his mouth, and Dez has no problem barking back. So this is a key matchup here. This is your number 1 receiver versus their number 1 corner, a lockdown corner. So look for that. Now jumping to our 3 reasons why each team will win. Let's go ahead and start with the Redskins. The Redskins are able to get pressure on Dak Prescott and slow down that Cowboys run game. If you can get pressure on Dak Prescott, keep him bottled up in the pocket, though. You can't let him extend the plays and get out of the pocket and use his legs. You have a chance to win this game. Number 2, stopping that Cowboys run game. The Cowboys are struggling, only picking up 3 yards a carry. They're not able to work clock. Their offense is barely on the field in the first half. The Redskins have a great chance to win this game. If you can slow down Zeke, you have a good chance. I believe in both of those games last year, Zeke had over 100 yards in both games. I believe he had a couple touchdowns. So look for that. The Cowboys know how to use their zone scheme, wide zone, inside zone scheme, rush, blocking attacks. So look for that. And our third and final matchup is, reason why that the Redskins will win is that they're able to force turnovers out of Prescott, and Kirk Cousins plays solid. So if you win the turnover battle, I think with the Redskins, the key thing is because Kirk Cousins turns the ball over, they'll have a chance to win this game. And now jump into 3 reasons why the Cowboys win this game. They get their rushing attack on track and they keep it going. Going back to the end of the Green Bay game, that running attack was killing them. It's killed them last week. This is another tough defense, so you have to look for that. If they're able to rush for over 140 yards in this game, they can easily win this game because they want to control the clock. They want the ball for over 32, 33 minutes a game to win this game. Number 2, Dak Prescott plays perfect. Not perfect, but almost close to perfect. No turnovers, smart passes. He has a high completion percentage. He's, like almost 20 and 24 type of stuff. 250 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's very efficient. Things like that. Number 3, the Dallas pass rush is able to get to Kirk Cousins, forcing him to throw the ball when he's not ready, and forcing some turnovers here. I believe they had 5 sacks and 3 or 4 forced turnovers last week. They're going to need to continue that this week. Kirk Cousins is a turnover machine, so they need to get to him, force him, they need to hit him, things like that. My prediction for this game is I think the Cowboys will win this game. I think it's going to be an ugly game. I think it's going to be a game, because I think it is in Washington. I think it's going to be an ugly game. I think the Cowboys are going to have to come out and run the ball a lot. I feel like they're going to have to lean on Zeke. The game plan should be to lean on Zeke, get Dez involved, keep Dak efficient. I think they're going to win this game 27-20. I think they're going to kind of follow almost the same blueprint that the Eagles followed this past week, and that's be very balanced. That's my prediction for this game. 27-20 Cowboys. Winner of this game moves into second place in the East. 3-3. A wild card spot looks like the best way to come out of the East if you want to be in second. So they need to. Both these teams need this victory, but I'm predicting the Cowboys will win this one. Thanks for watching, and I'm out. Peace.